Hey up everybody, it's Charlie and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. It's the second upload of the day. I did upload an installment of Bite Size Leeds earlier on today, so if you haven't, then please go check that out. But I just thought I'd come on and just give my overall thoughts on who I think the starting 11 should be on the opening day of the season against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Ellen Road, just obviously based on the transfers that Leeds have already made and potential signings that could come through the door as well, maybe. But just before I get into it properly, hit that like button, please subscribe, share all of your thoughts and opinions on my starting 11 in the comment section down below. And yeah, we'll get right into it then. So obviously we have made some really good signings so far. Hopefully there is more to come. But based on the business as it stands now, this would be my ideal starting 11. So obviously, as I'm going through it, if you'd like to hit your starting 11 suggestions in the comment section and in the live chat as well. So in goal, obviously, Ilan Meslier. We've not signed an experienced keeper yet. The only other option that we've got is Christopher Clarkson, which with all due respect, sorry, he's not, he's not first choice, and I don't think he ever will be. I think Meslier didn't have a great season last season. I think there's a lot of factors that you could factor into that. Obviously, his confidence. I think he didn't really have a consistent back four, back three, back five, whatever you want to call it, in front of him. Hopefully, this season, I can see him having a more consistent defence in front of him, better communication, and hopefully his confidence is better. But obviously, that's why I think we need an experienced keeper, because if he does have a dip in form, then at least we've got someone who is experienced enough to step in and put on a performance for us. But obviously, at this minute in time, we haven't. So I'll go with Ilan Meslier in goal. Now then, right back is, of course, our new signing, the Danish international right back Rasmus Christensen. Even if Ayling was fit, I still think Christensen will start. I've said it numerous times on Bite Size Leeds that Marsh wanted Christensen as a priority. It was his number one priority in that area. I can't see him saying that and then not playing him. I do think Ayling will naturally be phased out of the team this season, which, in my opinion, needs to happen. And I think a lot of fans would agree with that as well. I think Luke's performances last season were very inconsistent. And yeah, I just don't feel like he's on Christensen's level. I think Christensen could turn out to be our best signing. Just looks like an absolute unit. And I think there's going to be some attackers in the Premier League that are scared to come up against Rasmus. So yeah, Christensen at right back. Centre-back partnership, I've said it numerous times. I don't think it'll be any surprise to anybody that watches me consistently. But my preferred centre-back partnership is on the right-hand side, Mr. Robin Koch, and on the left side, Pascal Struijk. Pascal Struijk for me is up there with, I think, is easily like one of our best centre backs for sure. I've seen other people obviously sharing their ideal starting 11s on Twitter, Instagram, and such. And I've seen a lot of people include Cooper in there and Llorente. For me, Cooper, he'll be a good player to have in and around the squad this season. Obviously, he is club captain, and I don't think that'll change. However, in terms of his ability, and I get that he does play well for Leeds when he plays. I'm not disputing that. And I know his numbers are really good since we've been promoted and all that jazz. But it's just my personal opinion that if we are going to try and elevate as a club, if we're going to make that next step, I'm not saying that we'll crack Europe this season. I aren't saying that. But in the next 2 or 3 seasons, if we can sustain ourselves in the Premier League, make more additions and such, that's where I want my club to be. Do I see Liam Cooper being in our starting back four in potential European games within the next few seasons? No, I don't. Whenever we play a top team like City or Liverpool, Scum, Chelsea, I always fear about Liam Cooper being in the starting 11, and I can't help that. That's just how I feel when I go in to these big games. I think Pascal Struijk is an amazing centre back, up and coming young centre back. I think Robin Koch is so cool, calm, and collected on ball. He's a German international. Llorente, I just think, is too erratic. On the ball isn't great, but I think Koch and Struijk would provide that really good balance in defence. Onto the left back then. Now, this isn't my preferred choice, obviously, but it will be Junior Firpo. I'm just praying that he does have a good second season and that the first season was just a bit of a adaptation process, injuries, COVID, etc. I hope that was the case, because if he has another shocker, the fans are going to turn on him, rightly or wrongly. I think the fans will turn on him. So, like I said, this is supposed to be my preferred 11. Obviously, Firpo isn't in my preferred 11, but he's the only out-and-out left-back that we've got. You'd expect Leif Davis to probably move on this summer, whether it's another loan or a permanent deal to like a Championship League One team. Leif Davis isn't a good replacement if Firpo's injured or suspended, which is why I think if we do sell Rafinha, that we will, surely we've got to explore at least the option of a left-back. Charlie Taylor. Get Charlie Taylor in, please. But anyway, Junior Firpo, I won't really go into much because he's not my preferred option, which sounds like I'm really disrespecting him. As I said, I want him to come good this season. I want him to be an amazing left back for Leeds United. I'm not saying that he can't be. Of course, he can be. There were games last season where he did play really well, but let's be honest, it was few and far between. I'm praying that his form does come good. Let's just put it that way. So then we'll move into the double pivot. So obviously we have lost Calvin Phillips, which again is really sad, but the signings that we have made or will be making. So on the left-hand side of the double pivot, it's Mr. Mark Rocker, who was our third signing of the summer window. And on the right of the pivot, it will be Tyler Adams, who is at this minute of time is not official as a Leeds United player, but he pretty much is, like medical and paperwork pending. I've said it on another upload. I think Mark Rocker and Tyler Adams will provide a really good balance. Yes, Mo Kamara would have been my ideal choice over Tyler Adams, but having thought about it, Tyler Adams can be that breaker up of play. Isn't as great on the ball, but like I've said, the Jesse Marsh system is not about being in possession. And then you've got Mark Rocker, who is technically much better on the ball than Tyler Adams. Tyler Adams can be the breaker up of play, can pass it on to Mark Rocker, who can lead, who can then start the attack from there. A left-footed on the left and a right-footed on the right provides that really good balance in the double pivot, which I'm quite excited to see, I must admit. So yeah, then we'll move on to, I think my ideal would be a 4-2-3-1. So I'm going to act on the assumption that we lose Rafinha as a worst case scenario. So on the right-hand side, I'm actually going with Jack Harrison, simply because he's left-footed. And I know we've not really seen much of Jack on the right-hand side, but I think if we do lose Rafinha, I think Harrison could quite easily adapt to that right-hand side, cutting on his left foot, whip balls in, have shots from outside of the box, you know what I mean? And I think he could be really effective in that area. On the left, it's soon-to-be new Leeds United signing, Louis Sinistera. Just looks like an absolute joke of a player. Seen as the Rafinha replacement, which makes me believe that we will lose Rafinha, which is why I haven't included him in this. Obviously, if we kept him, he would be on that right-hand side, like no question. but I think Jack Harrison will take that. But Sinistera looks like a serious baller. Right-footed, which is why I've put him on right, looks way more effective cutting in on his right-hand side as well. Again, crosses into the box, shots on goal. I think he could create a lot of good chances for our striker this season and some good chances for himself. In the centre attacking midfield role, I'm going to go with our first official signing of this window, and that is Brendan Aronson from RB Salzburg, of course, £25 million. I think Aronson can be really effective in that central area. I know he can play out wide, and he has got a bit of pace about him, and he can defend a bit as well. I think he would get back, track back to defend as well. But I think in those central areas, I think he could link up well with Harrison and Sinistera. I think he could get the ball from Mark Rocker or Tyler Adams and build the attack in that area of the pitch. I think in transition, it would be really good as well, really exciting on and off the ball. Obviously, I can see why people might put Rodrigo in there, but I didn't think Rodrigo was as effective in the 10 as what Aronson could be. And then up front, it's your boy Patrick Bamford, who, let's be honest, will be like a new signing. Like, he will be like a new signing. Obviously, there's Gellart as well, who I think will have an impact this season, whether it's from the bench or if he started with Bamford in certain games. Obviously, there's CDK as well, which is uncertain as to whether he will join Leeds or not, with Milan really keen on him and him really wanting that move. But up front, it would be Patrick Bamford. Now, if we just have a look at that team properly, I'll just get it up. There we go. Doesn't look too shabby, does it? Doesn't look too shabby at all. Like, where do you think Leeds United would finish with that team? Hit me up in the comments section with where you think Leeds could finish with that team that I have picked there. I actually think that Leeds United will finich anywhere between 10th and 14th with that team, which I think is realistic. And I mean a positive, 10th to 14th. I don't mean like 14th where we're having a look at other teams again because we can't go through that again. But, I think that's a positive one. And I think it's very doable. If Marsh can implement his system effectively, which hopefully he can, then I do think that Leeds United could finish there. So that brings us to the end of this upload of who I think my ideal starting 11 should be for that opening game of the Premier League season. Hit me up in the comment section down below with who you think should start and why, and where you think Leeds United would finish with that team as well. And yeah, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, share all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, as I have just said, and I'll see you in my next upload, people. See you in a bit. Cheers.